Hello everybody, so I'm out at the sawmill today, sawing some boring old southern yellow pine for lumber, but I wanted to talk about a wood that's a little bit more special, and that is walnut. Now, I'm on a few different forums where people talk about sawmilling and forestry, and I'm on the Woodland Mills Facebook community page, and one of the probably the most popular posts you'll see from people that have a new sawmill is them sawing up some walnut. You know, everybody prizes that wood. It's a very valuable wood for fine woodworking. But pretty much every single picture you're going to see, you can tell these folks are milling up green walnut. And by green, I mean, you know, logs that were probably cut from trees within the last few months or right away in some cases. Because when you look at those photos, you see the characteristic two-tone chocolate vanilla look from walnut. And it's interesting, you know, in the world of fine woodworking, in most cases that the light sapwood in walnut is considered a defect. People don't want it. They really want that dark heartwood, and that's what is prized. But you know, I think in a few projects people do want the two-tone look, and that's good. You can get that. But by and large, when people want walnut for fine woodworking projects, they really want the dark heartwood. And so it turns out there's actually a trick you can use to increase your yield of dark heartwood when milling walnut lumber. And I want to talk about that today. The first thing I want to mention is, if you've ever bought walnut, a lot of times you will see it classified as either steamed or non-steamed. The steamed walnut will have a uniform dark color throughout. The non-steamed walnut is going to have the two-tone chocolate and vanilla look. And it turns out commercial sawmills, they know this trick where if you can steam walnut wood, you will equalize the color and give a uniform dark color across the entire piece of wood. And so before they mill any walnut, or before they sell walnut, you know, they're going to either steam it before it's milled or after it's milled to get the color equalized, to give you that uniform color. And they make more money doing that. And so that's typically what you're going to find when you buy walnut. It's going to be a steamed product, and the mill is going to be getting a better yield out of that, because you don't have that light sapwood, which they will consider a defect. If you ever buy non-steamed walnut, you're going to get that two-tone chocolate and vanilla look. Sometimes you'll pay more for that, sometimes you'll pay less. It depends on how it's graded, and you know what they consider to be waste in a given board. But by and large, you're going to see mostly steamed walnut offered for sale commercially. Now, very few of us home sawmill people could build a steamer. I know some people actually have, and they'll use it in walnut, also cherry, and I think beech, to give nice coloring. But you know, the rest of us, you know, we're not going to go build a steamer. But there's actually a trick that I stumbled on that the old timers knew about. I found out by accident that gives the same effect as steaming, and that is to let your walnut logs sit for about 1.5 years, even up to 2 years before you mill them. And by doing that, the color inside the log equalizes, and you get the same effect as a commercial sawmill will get by steaming their wood. Now, I stumbled on this by accident. I wish I could say I'm a genius, but I found this out by accident, and then I had to do some research and realize, oh yeah, the old timers knew this trick. Right here in the mill, I've got 2 boards from a walnut tree that I cut down, gosh, about 10 or 11 years ago. Over on this side, right here, is a board out of the batch that I milled right away. And you know, if you look at this, you can see, you know, the very classic lighter sapwood, the darker heartwood. You got that chocolate vanilla look, and this is what you're going to get. You know, if you mill your walnut green, you're going to get that two-tone color, and you're going to get less of that dark, that desirable dark heartwood, it'll be confined to the middle of the board. And then some of the other logs from that same tree, I didn't get to those. I had put them aside. I got busy with other stuff, and I didn't get to mill those until about a year and a half later. And when I sawed into those, I thought I had made a mistake because it did not look like walnut. There was not that classic two-tone chocolate vanilla look. It was a uniform color throughout. It was a very, very vivid grain. It later kind of toned down when it aired out and dried, but it did not look like walnut at all, except it was dark all the way through, and I couldn't figure it out. And you know, that's when I did some research and found out if you let your walnut log sit, and again, it's about a year and a half to 2 years, the color between the heartwood and the sapwood equalizes, and you get this nice uniform color throughout. And this log on this board on the left came out of one of those batches, and you know, if we get down close, you see it really nice uniform color throughout. The interesting thing is when you get to the ends, which were the ends of the log which were exposed to air, here the color equalization, you know, did not happen, and so you can still see some of the light sapwood next to the darker heartwood. But you know, here's a better view from the end. Again, that light sapwood. But as soon as you get in about, I don't know, 10 to 12 inches from the end of the log, now you've got that nice dark uniform color throughout the whole board. And it really gives you the same effect as steaming, but in this case you don't have to build a steamer, you just have to wait. And so hopefully this trick is useful. You know, again, if you want the two-tone look, you know, by all means saw your walnut when it's fresh cut, when it's green. But if you're after that darker wood, just park those logs somewhere, let them sit for a year and a half to 2 years, and then saw into them, and you'll significantly increase your yield of that prized dark wood. Generally, you'll increase your yield by 25 to 30%. So it's a really good thing to do if you're after that dark heartwood. Thanks for watching.